Hi, this is Julia Keller, juliakeller.co.uk. And this week's rule number 5, is all about eating a plant-based diet. So if you haven't been paying attention to everything I've been saying up to now in all my newsletters, I mean, not all my newsletters, but let's be honest, most of my newsletters have been focusing in on the importance of eating plant-based foods, vegetables, fruits, all of the plant-based. With plant-based, by the way, I include fungi, I include tubers, I include basically everything you consider, like even lentils, beans, etc. In the plant-based diet. Basically, the things that vegans and vegetarians would mostly eat when they're eating their food. So if you haven't been paying attention to what I've been saying about the importance of plant-based diets, maybe you've been paying attention to some of the other famous doctors that are well published that are writing about this. So, like Dr. Gundry, Dr. Greger, Dr. Prometer, some of my heroes, who I love and who I listen to, and nutritional therapists like myself also, and naturopaths, lots of people out there. Basically, everyone that's into holistic living and helping you to live a long, healthy life would be telling you to eat more vegetables, fruits, and the like. So much has been written up to now about the importance of a plant-based diet. You have a lot of experts out there talking about, things like raw eating, curing their diseases, juicing, smoothie making, using all kinds of plant-based eating in order to help you be healthy. So it's not a surprise, and it should really not be a surprise, that in the blue zone, so again, I'm going to tell you the blue zones are the 5 places in the world where people live the longest. So these are the 5 places in the world where they're the most centenarians, the most people who live until 100 years or more, the most in a contained area. So by percentage wise and by number of people even, well, let's say by percentage wise, in that area, the most people who live at, into their 100th decade. So into their 100th year, 10th decade. So it's key to think about how these people eat. And how these people eat is really eating a mostly plant-based diet. So if you look at all of them, if you look at the 7-day Adventists, there's a large group of them are actually vegans. Some of them are vegetarians. But in the other groups, some of them, they do eat a little bit of meat, and they definitely, most of the groups eat some fish. But what they do is they eat a very limited number of meat. So most of them eat meat, let's say, maximum of once a week, sometimes even less frequently than once a week. Some of them eat meat maybe once a month, some of them even less so. So it kind of really depends. And some of them don't eat meat at all. So it's really important, this whole plant-based eating, to keep you healthy. So what do plants do for you? Well, this is the thing, that while meat, processed food, we know there's nothing positive about processed food. I mean, if you're trying to convince yourself that junk food is healthy, that cereal that's, has whole wheat added to it or whatever it is good for you, you're lying to yourself. We kind of know that if it's processed, it's processed. It might have added vitamins, but it doesn't have any benefits. Meat has been linked with inflammation. So that's not to say that you should have no meat. It's just you should minimize your meat intake significantly in order to live longer. It's been linked with high cholesterol, cardiovascular issues, stroke, issues like that. So we want to minimize the meat eating, particularly red meats, and we want to maximize the vegetable and plant-based eating. Vegetables have antioxidants. The other things that they have things like saponins, which are really good for you. But the other things they do is they feed your gut bacteria. So they help your gut bacteria to do their best job. And there are some gut bacteria which are actually linked with longevity, and they feed on the fiber that comes from plants. It comes from tubers. It comes from fungi. They need this to help them keep going. Now, the bad gut buddies, we wouldn't call them gut buddies, the bad gut bacteria, the ones that cause you to have bad mood, they cause you to age quicker, they don't do good things for you. They basically, what messes up your balance, they actually feed on processed food, sugars, the things that you don't want to be eating. So if you want to feed the bad guys, by all means, keep eating your crap Western diet. But if you want to feed the good guys, then I recommend that you move to a more plant-based, vegetable, mostly vegetable, some fruit kind of diet. And if you want to, and obviously fish is very healthy, and most of the healthier blue zones do eat fish. But as far as meat, minimize.